Hey guys, Strong Style Studios back again. Alex, Noah, and the Orange Dream Justin here. We're going to be doing another episode. We're talking about the recent episode of Monday Night Raw featuring probably the match of the year so far between CM Punk and John Cena. I also want to touch upon TNA. And then we got the card for the Wrestlemania Weekend from DGUSA. A lot of great matches here. And we also want to touch upon New Japan. So let's start things out with the big news coming out of Monday Night Raw, which was probably the best Monday Night Raw I've seen in a while. Just solid from top to bottom, I thought.
I didn't see the whole thing.
Okay.
I mainly saw just the main event because I was told I had to see that. So
You did.
Yeah.
I thought that that this Raw was easily the best 3-hour Raw that they've put on.
Probably, yeah.
So
Okay,
what's the big news?
Well, first and foremost, let's talk about the first segment, which was Brock Lesnar and Triple H beating the shit out of each other. That was awesome. I am now officially excited for their match at WrestleMania just because if they wrestle like that and then bring that level of intensity, I'm sold.
Mm-hmm.
That was better than their whole match at SummerSlam.
Right. That was a match going into WrestleMania I couldn't care less
Yeah,
about.
exactly.
And that segment on Raw really changed that for me. The intensity, the blood, obviously, brought another thing to it.
Man.
And the thing is that was nice about it is they didn't shy away from it either.
No, they didn't try to cover it up.
Triple H later cut a promo mentioning the blood. They just didn't. It just felt like a different Raw.
Yeah,
you know,
it felt more intense. You know?
Yes, and that I love that.
Yeah, that was great.
Did you see that?
Well, I saw the clips of it the bleeding all over the place, and that's what they really need to do is to get. I think they probably felt that the excitement going into this match isn't quite where it needed to be, so they need to do something
special.
Yeah, special.
It looked to me like Brock Lesnar got busted open the hard way, and maybe he did, but just like fuck it, we're just
Well, yeah, I just mean the segment in general, just having for all of that intensity and.
Yeah, it was obvious like they were gonna do it. It was like couldn't be more clear, but the way they did it just really worked. You know, so they.
That was the first time that Triple H has come out in years, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be good.
He got big
because normally when Triple H's music's hit,
there's a promo, 20-minute promo coming.
You know it's gonna be long-winded and somebody's getting buried.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great quote right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we also had on the show we had further Daniel Bryan Kane shenanigans. Like they're dragging out this.
That's got to end.
Yeah, they're really dragging that out.
I don't even know if at the pace they're going to even ended at Mania, are they?
They got a month before Mania, man. They got
but it just doesn't look like they're going that way. I don't know. Maybe Backlash, but
we had Ryback and Ziggler in actually a very good match. I really enjoyed the match. Didn't like the fact that Ziggler lost again.
This match, I felt like it was good. The action was good, but never did I feel like Ziggler was.
I don't know. I thought it was a few chances maybe win here, but
I just felt like he'd hit a move here and he'd hit a move there, and then he'd let Ryback kind of take control of the whole match. And I don't know. There's no reason for this match. Ziggler should not be losing clean.
Plenty of jobbers that
to Ryback on Raw. That shouldn't be happening.
Meanwhile, Ziggler can't get a win, and neither can Cody Rhodes, who they're just wasting Cody Rhodes right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say Cody Rhodes is
they completely
maybe the most underutilized guy.
What the hell are they doing with him? Let's also talk about another big thing, which is the Alberto Del Rio and Zeb Coulter Jack Swagger promo.
Segment,
segment. I was actually really enjoyed it a lot. I thought I think they got something really going here. I think this feud could work.
Yeah, I thought this was really well done, and with the whole Zeb Coulter thing, at first I hated it. I didn't like the idea of it. I thought it was way too racially,
profiling stuff.
They just went down the racial road, and it was going to be mostly just a guy trying to get heat.
Mm-hmm.
But when they came out there and Dirty Dutch was out there cutting his promo, and he was bringing out facts.
Yeah,
and that was interesting to see. I might not agree with everything he said, but at least he was bringing out facts, and it was cool that they did it right to Del Rio's face. And Del Rio, you could tell, didn't like some of the things he was saying either. But I think Del Rio's his defense could have been a little better. You know, he could have got into the...
Yeah, Del Rio's... I don't think Del Rio's strength has ever really been his promos, especially like his face. His face ones have been kind of But, you know, a face really doesn't need to have the best promos in the world. He just needs to get the crowd on his side. And Del Rio's got the crowd.
The thing is that hurts it a little bit is when the heel comes out and cuts a promo and he wins.
Yeah.
You know, when he wins that verbal debate. The thing is, I don't necessarily think that what Zeb Coulter's saying is correct. I think that Del Rio didn't capitalize on some of the things. Coulter mentioned things about Mexico's government. Yeah. And I think that Del Rio should have capitalized on that and said, you know, if the government was perfect, people wouldn't be coming here. You know, that's a topic. You know, that's something that he could have touched on. But overall, that was a great segment, and it was very heated and tense. You could feel the tension.
It was good. I also kind of like the match between him and Swagger and Miz. I thought, you know, Swagger's been looking actually... I've been enjoying Swagger's matches more. Like, they're actually making him look like a dominant, you know, force to be reckoned with, you know? And, like, I like that a little bit. I also really like how, like, they're really doing a good job of, like, showing him, like, go after someone's knee, and they're really doing better, like, a chemistry of, like, or psychology of, like, going after a leg and everything. So, set up for the ankle lock, or whatever he calls it.
Patriot Act.
The Patriot Lock, or whatever I think it's called now.
It was the Patriot Act, and now everybody calls it the Patriot Lock. So I don't know which one is which. If it's supposed to be
interchangeable, I guess.
I'm not a big fan of Swagger. I've never been a big fan of Swagger. I think this is helping him a lot. Yeah. His matches have improved slightly. I'm still not a big fan of his. I know that a lot of people are, but I think my big gripe with him is, one, the psychology usually just is not there. Okay. Yeah. And two, he's very robotic in his movements. I feel like he just needs to loosen up. Like, well, look at his hands. They're always locked open. And
maybe that's why he was smoking pot then.
Maybe. Really.
Yeah. Oh, do you want to talk about that? Like, how about Glenn Beck? Glenn Beck probably saved Jack Swagger's WrestleMania spot with the publicity they've gotten.
That's possible.
Yeah. So, probably the first thing that Glenn Beck's ever done for someone, and, you know, helped out someone probably.
Inadvertently.
Yeah, inadvertently. Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, like, again, like, I think it's cool to have an idea of them going after someone in the media. Like,
not Glenn Beck.
That's the thing. Glenn Beck is not the right. He's not the voice of, like,
he's a voice. He's a voice of psychopaths. What he is.
Well, he's not on Fox News anymore. He doesn't have.
Oh, he's not on Fox News anymore.
No, he doesn't. Have,
really?
He has his own radio show. He doesn't have much of an audience anymore compared to where it was a few years ago. He's basically not relevant anymore.
Right. It'd be kind of like going after Rush Limbaugh. It's just a radio personality.
It's worse than going after Rush Limbaugh.
At least not going after Bubba the Love Sponge.
That's the thing. What I didn't understand, I'm sure that when they invited him, they just wanted TV. You know, great ratings. But I mean, what's your best case scenario here? You convince him that you're right, and then he's a wrestling fan. Like, I don't want him to be a wrestling fan. Fuck him. Yeah. Like, I don't. Who cares what he thinks at all?
Yeah. This whole thing about sending people to his show and like
that. I'll tell you about Michael Cole going out there. I got.
That's pretty funny.
That was funny. I liked Michael Cole going out there, man. Michael Cole has balls for that one.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there's no reason for anybody to be offended by what Glenn Beck said about wrestling fans. He doesn't know anything about wrestling. He doesn't know anything about anything. Who cares? I couldn't care less what he thinks.
He knows how to act like he's offended by something and cry.
I will say the interesting thing about this angle is it's kind of counter to what WWE normally does. It's where the heel is actually racist and is xenophobic instead of having like the patriotic face who's xenophobic and doesn't like foreigners.
It was just kind of weird. Like, you know, Linda is a Republican nominee last year.
Vince is a supporter of Romney. And
he invested a lot of money in Romney's campaign, and then now they're taking shots at the Tea Party and making them the villain. Yeah. And Glenn Beck, who's also very red, very Republican. Yeah. It's just strange to see.
Yeah, this is getting very political. That's
kind of where this storyline is.
Okay. Let's talk about the Shield. Cutting a very nice promo. I thought all three guys in the Shield are really kind of fitting their roles really well. I thought Dean Ambrose obviously great on the mic. Roman Reigns still a little rough around the edges, but he's not horrible. I think he's better at wrestling, you know.
He wasn't meant to be the mic guy anyway.
No. But Seth Rollins, man, he's gotten a lot better on that mic. You know, especially from his ROH days, he's improved quite a bit.
I will say this about Reigns, though. It's like, at first I was wondering, you know, if he was the best guy of the group, but he really is. It's like, you want to take a guy who's kind of an untapped talent and put him in that role and give a guy a chance to improve a lot.
I've been very impressed with him.
And he definitely
has
fits
the look
role
for the role
of the muscle.
Oh yeah, he's perfect for it.
I think that another guy that they've on the roster that they've tried to push as the muscle, and that's Big E Langston. I think that he doesn't fit that role that well.
He doesn't.
Because you look at Roman Reigns, he's the guy in the background with his arms crossed. He's angry. He's coming to. He wants to hurt you. You know.
Mm-hmm.
They do the talking. I do the hurting. You know? That's the kind of feel that you get from him.
Once in a while, he'll talk and just say something very simple, very little, and then just hand the mic over to the
That's what I love about it. He is the muscle.
Yeah.
You know, you don't expect him to think too much. You just expect him to act.
Right.
And he just yells a lot.
And the thing is, when he first came in, when I heard that it was going to be these three guys, of course I love Ambrose and Rollins, obviously.
Yeah.
But when I heard Reigns, I was like, okay.
Okay,
whatever.
It's like, he's from the Samoan family. It's like, okay, that makes sense for why they want to have him on television.
He's got the look.
Yeah, he's got a look, yeah. So I'm like, okay, this is obviously their guy, but they're sticking him with two indie guys to kind of probably help him get his ring style a little bit better, but he's definitely a guy who they want on television. This is a good way to introduce him, and it's worked. The experiment has worked.
Definitely has.
And the Shield, I damn near, I say that's probably the best thing that WWE's done in a long time. Everything about the Shield has been working.
They can do a lot with these guys, and I hope they continue to do a lot.
I'm excited for what they're doing with these guys. But WrestleMania, it's looking weird, what they're gonna do, because they have Sheamus involved with this really weird feud with Barrett right now.
I'm confused.
Yeah, it's the whole thing about they have they're going after I would love a match too.
Once again, Barrett gets bullied.
Yeah.
And fights back.
Yeah, but they got the whole thing with them two fighting over a movie. I want to see the feud between these two, but can we do it any other way?
This movie that Barrett's probably doesn't have any lines in.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He doesn't have any lines.
Yeah, he's the muscle. But so they're doing that, but then again, Sheamus is involved with the Shield, so I'm kind of wondering what they're going to do at Mania. Is Sheamus going to be facing Wade Barrett, or is Sheamus going to be facing the Shield?
Right, because right now it feels like it's going to be the Shield versus Ryback, maybe Orton and one other guy.
Yeah,
but
maybe Jericho.
That would be fine with me. But why is Sheamus? It's like they were like, well,
Sheamus,
I don't know what else. Who should we put in this segment?
It didn't seem like they had anything planned for him all along. If they're not doing anything now.
Right. Meanwhile, what happened to Bo Dallas?
That's what
he just kind of disappeared.
Dropped from story.
I mean, I'm not crying about it.
No.
But it's just very strange.
Yeah,
he wasn't. He was a little green.
But let's talk about the biggest part of Monday's Raw, which was the match between John Cena and CM Punk. Winner going to WrestleMania. Wow. Yep. Holy crap.
Amazing.
Awesome match. I'd say this was... I can't think of a better Raw match.
This is the best Raw match I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. This might be the best television match I've seen. Maybe there's a Clash of Champions match, but
maybe the only one that
these ones I can't.
Maybe the only one that might come close was John Cena and Shawn Michaels when they had that hour-long match.
That was great.
That might be the only one.
I think this was better.
Yeah,
I think John Cena had a better match.
I think so too, man. These guys.
It was almost flawless. These guys just went into so many different counters and everything flowed together.
I love watching these two guys wrestle. These guys are just born to work together.
Yeah.
It's so much fun to watch these two guys wrestle. Just the counters they throw out together, the counters to their signature moves, it just shows that they know each other. Mm-hmm. This was probably the second best match they've ever had. Obviously, Money in the Bank was the best one they've ever had.
But good for very different reasons.
Very good. Yeah. Definitely. This one it was just the level of intensity. You're just how is this going to end? And it was...
This match, these two guys just went at each other, balls to the wall the whole match, just throwing everything
we saw Cena do a Liger Bomb. We saw Cena do a Hurricanrana, and actually a decent one this time, But we saw CM Punk do a pile driver. When was the last time you've ever seen a pile driver done on wrestling? On WWE?
That's the thing about this match is that it wasn't just they threw everything at each other, but it was psychology too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. They reached a point in the match where they knew that they weren't just going to put each other away.
And they had to go outside their normal moveset.
Yeah. And that's why when Punk used the pile driver, it works so well because we've been conditioned to never expect it ever.
The crowd almost hushed after it happened. Then they popped for the count, but they went to a hush. They're like, did you see that?
The last time I saw a pile driver that I honestly remember was when Shawn Michaels did it to Cena on the steps.
Yeah, oh my God, that was crazy.
When I saw that, I was like, wow. And it really fit Punk's character of going against what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's not supposed to do that.
Yeah, apparently Vince got pretty upset about that, but who cares?
Which is great.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's what
Adds
you
to it.
Yeah.
But then, you know, but not just Punk. It wasn't all Punk. A lot of people want to say, "Oh, Punk carried."
Oh,
him into
no,
a great
absolutely
match.
not.
And that's not the case because, and I'm not a huge Cena fan. I think that part of the problem with a lot of his matches are they're not that snug. They're not that crisp.
This match was totally.
Oh, it was the opposite.
Yeah.
I was telling you earlier, this is the best match from a wrestling perspective I've ever seen John Cena wrestle.
I will agree with that.
Yeah, he was great.
He was just crisp. He was just the counters were great.
Yeah, he looks better than I've ever seen him. Like he just looked very, very fluent with his wrestling.
I think with Cena and Punk to a certain extent too, these guys wrestle all the time. Not I'm saying like they have house shows. These guys have to wrestle more than practically anybody on the roster. These guys maybe get a little complacent at times. Maybe don't take every match like it's a big thing. But when these two guys get together, they know they're bringing their A game. Both guys know that they're gonna push each other, and they just know how to get the best out of each other every time.
Absolutely.
And it's just,
and I do want to go back to a little bit to what I was saying about the psychology and that, like I said about Punk doing the pile driver, but then you said the Liger bomb.
Yeah.
I love that because it made me think Cena pulled out a move that has beat him in the past.
Right.
Batista bomb.
he's just thinking, what else can I hit him with? This
Yes,
move.
it must.
The first thing.
This beat me, so maybe it'll work.
I would love.
I love to see that when they're pulling things not only just from their past matches, but from their past, histories, and that really added something to the match.
The only thing I would have liked more is if CM Punk had done the rock bottom. I think that would have been just like the icing on the cake. I thought.
I think that the match was about as perfect as it could.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just saying. Like I want to. That would have been a really cool throw. Just like maybe like a shot at the Rock.
So where do you guys rank this match among best matches so far this year?
It's number one for me. I haven't seen all of New Japan New Beginnings, so I have not seen the great Carl Anderson Tanahashi match. But right now this is I think 4.5, maybe 4 3/4.
I go like 4.5 too.
I would go with 4.5. I think this is my second
best match of the year.
Behind Wrestle Kingdom main event.
Yep.
Wow! I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, I saw Anderson versus Tanahashi. That's a great match. This was better. So this match is second best for me right now.
And that's saying so much, especially for a TV main event.
Wow. And
this is just reminded me of what WWE can do. They can just throw this match was kind of random, but it had a story because Cena felt like he had to prove that he could beat Punk because he really hadn't done it.
Yeah,
right.
and I was there, and I was so worried. I'm like, oh great, they're just gonna throw him in the match. Cena's gonna get the win, and Punk's gonna look like crap. And just I was so happy to be wrong about that. That they actually gave it time. They let Punk look good, and they actually made it feel like an important match. I was like, thank you WWE for this. And
one thing I want to say is, and I think I said this to Justin earlier, was that why couldn't The Rock win the match the same way?
No kidding.
I mean, that match. Cena doesn't look bad.
No.
Punk doesn't look bad.
No.
But nobody came in and interfered.
No.
Why can't that happen more often? Why does The Rock have to be protected so much?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's another topic for another day.
As right now, though, I think this was John Cena and CM Punk saying to Rock, okay, Rock, this is what we can do. Let's see what you can do with us.
Yeah.
I think it was meant maybe a message the Rock, it's hey, you got a lot to build up now against.
Yeah. Well, the question is if Cena can bring it, it's like if Rock can bring it to Mania this time.
No, you can't get winded after 5 minutes, Rock. And also, we completely forgot to mention this. Over the weekend, The Undertaker returned at a live event.
So we will see where that goes.
I'm very happy WWE didn't have him show up on Monday Night Raw.
There's too much going on.
Yeah, they kept the focus on the match between John Cena and CM Punk. I like that a lot. I expect to be on this Monday though.
One more thing I wanted to touch on about that match is that I've heard a lot of people saying things about it, it's not as good as this match, or it's not as good as their match at this event. And the thing is, I think that if people could just accept it as this is a great feud, a great wrestling feud. You look at ROH with Danielson and Nigel.
Yeah.
You don't go back and say, oh, that match wasn't as good as their other match.
Yeah.
No.
Look at the body of work here. It's beautiful.
They're not trying to have the same match every thing. They're trying to make them different. They're good in their own way, so they're hard to compare because they're good in different ways.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. That's well said. That's
okay. Now, Noah, you wanted to talk a little bit about TNA before we get on the next topic?
Yeah, I wanted to touch on the fact that I mean, we've talked about how they're down to 4 pay-per-views a year.
Yep.
It seems like they're almost fading from my conscience. And
Right.
stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
just,
so strange. Last summer, they were red hot. They
Oh,
were
yeah.
probably as hot as I can remember them.
And it couldn't have come at a better time because WWE was kind of like in a downward slump, and they snatched up the opportunity to become the better promotion at the time.
To me, they just feel kind of there right now. It's like they exist, but what they're doing doesn't seem to really matter.
No,
right
everything
now.
they're doing is just not. It's not really clicking. I mean, this is a promotion that is used to being considered the worst promotion of the year every year.
Yeah.
But let me say something. This year, they're really setting the pace because this stuff is not worth watching. There's no reason to turn into Impact.
No.
Why should I? I've seen Hogan do everything there is to do in wrestling, but now I have to see him do it again. And then Sting.
Sting,
But this time I get to watch him do it in a t-shirt. And
in a cage against Diva.
why should I care about this? And then you take your 2 best talents, your 2 hottest heels, put them in a tag team, and forget about them, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
the only reason...
are they doing anything right now, really? Maybe some...
They put the belts on Aries and Rude.
The build to lockdown.
Oh
the
my
build
God.
to lockdown is just atrocious.
They had, 2 months to build this up, and we still, I could not give a shit less about this match.
No.
Or
And
pay-per-view.
why is Bully Ray facing Jeff Hardy? Bully Ray is supposed to be in a feud with Aces and Eights. What is happening? Neither of these guys are heels. They're both faces. Why should I care about this match in the least?
Oh, speaking of a match that I shouldn't care about the least, how about Wes Briscoe versus Kurt Angle in a steel cage match at Lockdown?
I don't know. It just seems like... I guess whatever happened over the summer was the anomaly because they're just kind of back to...
It was a
really
once-in-a-blue-moon thing.
Once again, just being directionless has been their biggest problem. They just do not seem to have a direction.
No, it's almost, I mean, they watch WWE and they kind of have an idea of what wrestling is, so they just stick with that and that's comfortable.
It's like, what is the end game here? It's just like,
I
guess to get Hogan over is the ultimate end game of every storyline they do.
That's how it
Sting.
seems. I don't know. I don't know why I should tune in to watch Impact when you're building up to pay-per-views that don't matter at all.
At this point, I'm not going to be tuning in unless I hear something's exceptional, which I'm not holding my breath for anymore. But
Although, yeah, it's.
I mean, they have a lot of talent still. They've got some good matches.
They don't have the brains to use them.
Yep.
They don't have the brains to use them. It's plain and simple.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you got your TNA rant out?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
about as
All
good
right.
as it gets.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about something a little bit more prosperous and a little bit more potential, which is the WrestleMania card for Dragon Gate USA. The first one, which is April 6th. The main event we've already talked about, Johnny Gargano versus Shingo for the Open the Freedom Gate Championship. That is going to be awesome.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Good.
For the Open the United is it the United Gate Championships?
That's the tag.
Yeah, the tag team. Okay, we have Shima and AR Fox defending against the Young Bucks.
That should be very
great.
good.
That's going to be
Very
awesome.
good.
High spots everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's going to be crazy. I expect AR Fox to nearly kill himself at one
Like
point.
he does in every single
Yes.
match.
Just so that should be a lot of fun.
Shima beating up on the Bucks was going to be fun.
Shima, I think didn't the very first Dragon Gate USA show, Shima had a tag team match with the Bucks?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, okay.
Plus,
So,
I mean, Shima's been in PWG so many times. He's definitely.
I love Shima, man. I wish he came into US more and just did more shows all around because he's
Yeah.
great. Next up, we have Akira Tozawa taking on Ricochet.
Ooh.
That's gonna be.
Oh
really,
my God,
Ooh,
that's
I
gonna
really want to see that.
That's gonna be awesome.
Man.
That's gonna be insane.
I don't even know what to say about it. It's just it's going to be odd. Just look on the two names there.
Just get ready to have this face
yeah.
the whole time.
The thing that I love about this match is that on paper, or if you just look at the guys, their pictures, you're like, oh, it's just going to be two fast guys flying around.
Tozawa's
going to
Tozawa
bring
is
some
going to
pain
hurt you.
to this match. He's going to hurt. I mean, you
Ricochet is going to be flying.
better strap up the
He's going
chin
to throw
strap.
him.
'Cause
He's
you're
going to
gonna
throwing
hurt.
him into the fifth row. He's going to be.
I can't wait.
This is gonna be awesome. Okay, next up we have Sami Callihan taking on the returning Uhaa Nation.
Interesting.
That's
just
interesting.
because
Sammy, I like Sammy a lot.
it's a big return match to have.
I love it.
They're not just feeding him a jobber just to get him over. They're going to put him against Sammy. He's like, well, see if he can still.
I think Uhaa. I'm excited, man. I'm a big fan of Uhaa Nation. I'm excited to see him back.
Yeah, I really hope it's a good match. I expect that it can be.
It's Sami Callihan.
It's just going to be hard to get for Uha to come back.
Oh, he's got a lot.
I mean, that's a long time to be off.
Yeah. He was gone for a year.
He's gonna have some rust.
Well, he is actually going to Dragon Gate right now. He's left. He should be like arriving there like any few hours or whatever. But he's going to be in a few tag team matches with BB Hog, taking on the tag team champions over there in Dragon Gate. So he's getting the ring rust out of the way. And the guy, he's actually been working at like some other smaller promotions. So this is just his return to Dragon Gate USA.
Yeah, still a big match.
Yeah, big match. Then we got Brian Kendrick, who I guess is going to be working with Dragon Gate USA for a little bit. Going to be taking on Rich Swann.
I'm not too big on Kendrick anymore, but
Swan's great, so.
Yeah, Swann will probably make it entertaining.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Good undercard
Kendrick
match.
is complacent.
I haven't seen Kendrick wrestle in a while.
Last time I saw him, he didn't seem to care that much, and this should
be
decent.
very sloppy too.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully, Swann can get something good out of him, though.
Okay. And next up, we have John Davis taking on Samurai Del Sol. Samurai Del Sol is going to get thrown out of the ring like a rag doll. Match.
Destruction.
Yeah, that might not be that great of a match, but I mean, it'll be. I'm sure there'll be some fun spots.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Samurai Del Sol's good. I think John's actually.
He'll bump.
Yeah, John
pretty good, but yeah.
And then we have a 6-man match between Chuck Taylor, Eric Cannon, Jigsaw, Tony Nese, Fire Ant, and Shane Strickland. Don't know who Shane Strickland is. Strickland. Strickland. He's from Strickland Propane.
Maybe.
Okay.
That'll probably be like the opener or something.
That'd be fun. Got a lot of good talent there.
Fun match.
Yeah, you got Chuck Taylor, Jigsaw, Fire Ant. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that should be good.
Yeah. And then for the April 7th show, we have the 6-man match is returning. We have team of Shima and his team taking on Johnny Gargano and his team. They have not announced participants yet. I'm predicting probably AR Fox with Shima, maybe Ricochet. I don't know if I think Ricochet's kind of turned heel or whatever, but maybe probably Johnny Gargano obviously going to have Rich Swann in his team, and I don't know who else.
I mean, can this match even possibly be
No
bad?
way. I mean, it's Shima and Johnny Gargano in the match right there.
Plus, we're talking about Dragon Gate. This is what they do.
Yeah,
they do 6-man
this
tags.
is like,
that's what they do. And Johnny, he wrestles in Chikara. He knows how to do 6-man
Trios.
tags.
Yeah, trios.
This has got to be good.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome. Right? There's no question.
Yeah, if you haven't seen a match like this, like a Dragon Gate 6-man before,
there's
you are
nothing
in
like
for
it,
a
man.
treat. They're just, it's mind blowing, really.
They're really awesome.
The pace that they set, they'll go out there for like 25-30 minutes, but it'll just be non-stop and just crazy spot for crazy spot, and they hardly botch anything. It looks like
they're always great.
Yeah.
And then we have Shingo taking on Tozawa.
That could be something else.
Awesome.
That is gonna be
I
awesome.
did not hear about that till just now.
Yeah.
I almost marked it. That is going to be sweet.
That is going to be awesome. I agree. And then we have a big invitational match, which is going to be a ladders are legal match. So pinfalls, submissions, elimination match, but ladders are legal. Yeah. But
that means nothing's hanging above the ring, basically.
No, it's just someone's going to.
If there's ladder, you can use.
People are going through ladders.
You feel like climbing a ladder? Go for it.
Yeah. Well, there's only a few guys in it so far, but more people will be announced later. But the Young Bucks are in it, so that's good.
That's good.
Instantly, that's okay. That's gonna be great. And Samurai Del Sol is gonna be in this.
Okay, so I'm looking forward to this match now.
Yeah.
This is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, and one other guy, Facade, Facade. Facade. Yeah. Have you heard of this guy?
I have. He's not great. I mean, he's okay. He's kind of sloppy. He was in, I want to say UWF, that Urban Wrestling Federation or something like that.
Yeah. I think you're right, yeah.
He kind of reminds me of Christian York in that he can do some stuff, but he's limited, and I don't think he's going to get too much better.
Okay.
But he'll do.
Okay.
He'll probably be good in this match.
This is where he belongs. Yeah.
Okay, and then we have Brian Kendrick taking on Chuck Taylor. That should be entertaining. I think
that'll be hilarious.
I expect it to be a comedy. Chuck Taylor's just great at bringing out just the funniest part.
I'm sure Chuck Taylor's going to rip on Kendrick for either getting fired or being a pothead or something.
Anything.
Any number of things.
Can we see the Swamp Monster interact with Brian Kendrick at all?
There should be some Swamp Monster.
Okay, and then the other match is the Super Smash Bros. Taking on Sami Callihan and Eric Cannon. I really don't like the fact they're keeping the DUF alive. I think Sami Callihan should be a main event guy, not being wasted in tag team. But
I think this is fine though.
Yeah, I'm glad Sami Callihan's working with some talented guys though, because Super Smash Bros. Are great. So
another good match for the Super Smash Brothers. They're still not getting the main event matches yet, but still another good.
I'd love to see Shima and AR Fox take on the Smash Bros. That'd be an awesome match.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great matches they could be having.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, we don't want to write this match off. Sami Callihan is definitely a top talent. Eric Cannon is.
He's a good tag team guy.
He's a great tag team guy.
Experienced tag team guy.
He's a veteran of the independent scene. He can work a match.
Got some great strikes too. He throws a punch hard. I don't know if it's good enough as Uno's Falcon Punch though. Yeah. Just saying. All right, and then the last but not least, we want to talk about New Japan a little bit. MVP has announced that he is done with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Sad to see him go. He's left it open for him to go to TNA or WWE. I expect WWE to probably pick him up because they've been looking at him for a while apparently. Which I'd be happy with because I always liked MVP.
Well, if he goes to TNA, he can probably be champion.
Yeah, there you go.
If he goes to WWE, you get a paycheck, so it's kind of got to weigh the pros and cons.
I think he'll take the money over anything else.
Personally, I'm okay with this. I'm not going to miss him. His matches.
I think he fits better in WWE or TNA.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
he didn't translate very well to the Japanese style.
No.
I was never big on him.
I didn't think he really improved or developed a lot either. His style, he's still kind of doing the same style that he always did in WWE. So, yeah.
Okay, and this is just worth mentioning. I don't know if it means anything, but Shelton Benjamin and Loki, their roster picture has been removed from the website. So I don't know if that means that they might be going from New Japan as well.
I don't know if I don't want to jump to conclusions or anything, but I did hear that Loki got quite a bit of heat, and that's why he was off the card.
Really? What was the heat about?
For wearing the suit.
Really?
Apparently he wore the suit and they didn't like it, and they were really upset about it, and that's why he wasn't on the next pay-per-view. Wow. So there is some heat. I mean, this is a rumor, so don't take it with a grain of salt. Yeah. But it does kind of make sense. But
Benjamin, Benjamin's another one of those guys that's been rumored for a while to go back to WWE. They rid him off from Ring of Honor too, so it's like.
Hopefully Loki's sticking around, and he might just be in the doghouse for a while. Hopefully he'll be back because he's a great asset, fits in great.
I wonder if he's ever going to go back to Dragon USA though.
I don't know. I don't think he belongs in New Japan. I think that's where he's motivated.
That's where the money is.
He's not going to wrestle 5-star classics in independent shows anymore. He's over it. He's better than that, at least in his opinion.
And you could argue that he's probably better than that. He's kind of.
I mean, he's been around the world.
He's done
fantastic talent, and he's dedicated so much of his time and life to being the best.
Yeah.
And I respect that. Mm-hmm. But it would be really unfortunate if he was out of New Japan because there's nowhere else I can see him being used.
He just fits so well.
Yeah, I agree. Well, maybe he can go to Dragon Gate in Japan.
Yeah.
Okay. Still, I don't think that. I think he would fit better.
Hopefully he's staying.
Hopefully.
Bottom line.
Yeah, because he's great. All right, I guess that wraps up for another episode of Running the Ropes, guys. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe and do all that stuff. And take care. Bye.